The iPhone SE 4 is almost here, and it's happening this Wednesday. Tim Cook himself has confirmed it, and Apple has already sent out invites, so we're either getting a press release or one of those polished Apple event videos on YouTube. Either way, we're finally about to see what Apple has in store for its budget-friendly iPhone. Now, here's where things get interesting. There's been some last-minute confusion about the name. Some leaks suggest that Apple might ditch the SE branding altogether and call it the iPhone 16e instead. The idea is that Apple is shifting towards a more unified naming strategy, and since this device is essentially part of the iPhone 16 family, they might want to brand it that way. Personally, that seems unlikely. Naming it after the 16 series would instantly make it feel outdated when the iPhone 17 drops, whereas SE models tend to stick around for years without annual updates. Plus, SE doesn't mean small edition, like some people think. It actually stands for special edition. Even though, let's be real, it's mostly just an iPhone built from leftover parts Apple has lying around. More likely, we'll see it named simply iPhone SE 4, kind of like how Apple handled the AirPods 4 instead of calling them the 4th generation. One of the big rumors leading up to this launch has been about the display. Some people speculated that Apple might bring Dynamic Island to the SE, but that's not happening. According to reliable display analyst Ross Young, the iPhone SE 4 is sticking with a notch, which makes perfect sense. Apple always wants its budget models to look just a little outdated compared to its flagship iPhones. Right now, the more expensive iPhones have Dynamic Island, and Apple definitely doesn't want the SE looking too modern. It needs to feel like a step down, so people are tempted to buy the pricier models. As for the design, leaks show that the SE 4 will have a single 48-megapixel camera, which matches the iPhone 16. The sides will be made of aluminum, just like Apple's other non-Pro models, and it won't have an action button. That's staying exclusive to the higher-end models. No surprises there, but it would have been nice to see Apple throw it in. Speaking of design choices, leaked dummy units only show black and white color options, which could mean Apple is skipping product red for this model. That would be a little disappointing, especially since color is such a big deal for casual buyers. Maybe another sneaky upsell strategy. At least we're getting a matte frosted glass back, similar to the iPhone 15 and 16, which should give it a more premium feel compared to the glossy SE 3. One of the most interesting changes with this phone is Apple's in-house modem. Until now, Apple has relied on Qualcomm for its iPhone modems, but after acquiring Intel's modem business, they've been working on their own. The catch? Apple's modem might not be as good as Qualcomm's. Reports suggest that while it should reach speeds of up to 4 gigabytes per second, that's actually slower than what Qualcomm's modems can do. It also won't support millimeter wave 5G, and some are worried that call reception might take a hit, not exactly ideal for a phone. Apple has apparently been testing these modems in secret, but they're clearly not ready for flagship iPhones yet, so they're using the SE as a test run. On the bright side, the in-house modem could improve battery life, network scanning, and satellite connectivity, so it's not all bad news. Performance-wise, this phone is shaping up to be a solid upgrade over the SE 3. It's expected to be based on the iPhone 14, which means it's finally getting Face ID instead of Touch ID, and a 6.1-inch OLED display, a huge leap from the tiny 4.7-inch LCD on the current SE. It should also come with Apple's A18 chip, which is rumored to be the same one used in the iPhone 16, making it a powerhouse for the price. Now, the big question everyone's been asking. Will it support Apple Intelligence? Some leaks suggested that the SE 4 might have 6 gigs of RAM, which would have meant no AI support, since Apple Intelligence requires at least 8 gigs. Thankfully, Mark Gurman has confirmed that Apple Intelligence will be fully supported on the SE 4, so expect 8 gigs of RAM to be the standard. That makes sense, since Apple is likely just repurposing the A18 chips from the iPhone 16 series and dropping them into the SE. Battery life is also getting a huge boost. Prototype units have been spotted using a 3279 mAh battery, which is the same capacity as the iPhone 14. That's a massive jump from the 2018 mAh battery in the SE 3. For context, the iPhone 14 can last 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, so expect significantly better endurance than the SE 3, which struggled to make it through a full day. Overall, the iPhone SE 4 looks like it's going to be one of the best budget iPhones Apple has ever made. It's getting a big display, Face ID, a great camera, and full Apple Intelligence support. But Apple is making sure it doesn't step on the toes of its higher-end models. That's why they're keeping the notch, ditching the action button, and using a first-gen modem that might not match Qualcomm's speeds. It's a classic Apple move. Make the SE just good enough to be tempting, but leave enough limitations that people are still drawn to the more expensive models. Either way, this is shaping up to be an incredible deal for the price. So, what do you think? Excited for the SE4? Let's talk in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on all things Apple.